All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, so Paul Stanley, the hypocrite of hypocrites. My friend Mark, patron of the channel, sent me this article. And yeah, he said to me, this is going to make your head explode. And yeah, it's kind of happening. So Paul Stanley, who tested positive for the thing last week, is seen walking into a West Hollywood hotel without a face diaper on, before tweeting that his freedom isn't worth jeopardizing other people's health. Oh my gosh. So he's walking around jeopardizing people's health. In case you missed what happened this week, he was, of course, diagnosed as having the thing, but on Tuesday, he entered the Sunset Marquis Hotel in West Hollywood, California, without a face diaper on. Now, what's interesting is that he's out in California. He is almost as hypocritical as the guy who is being recalled. In fact, Paul Stanley might actually be the Gavin Newsom of the music industry right now, of, classic rock, whatever you want to call it. So, of course, last Thursday, Paul Stanley, who continues to lecture everyone else about how to behave. And this is what happened to Newsom, by the way. Newsom went to this restaurant called the French Laundry, which doesn't sound very appealing to me, but in any event, a busboy basically took a picture of him and a large group of people all gathered together without diapers on their face. So that went viral as soon as that got out there, because here's the guy that wanted to lock down the state pretty much for the rest of the state's existence. And Paul Stanley, who is constantly lecturing people along with his cohort, Simmons, about how important it is to do the thing and to behave properly. And of course, he goes out there and tells everybody, I have these symptoms. I'm not feeling so well. And then he had to admit that he had the thing, which of course is kind of embarrassing. And then canceling gigs because of it, even though, hey, at least my symptoms aren't so bad. This is where the goalposts are now, even though we're starting to see lots of reports where people will say things like, I think it was the guy from Slipknot who said, I'm fine, but I've never been more sick than I am right now, but I'm fine. So it's a big contradiction. They're so willing to hold on to this. Like, this is like they're hanging by a thread as it is, because everybody's like, well, I thought you said if I did this, then number one, I could go to your concert, but yet you canceled the concert. Then you're telling me in the run up to all this stuff that this is the only way to prevent other people from getting it, but yet they're still getting it. So the transmission angle doesn't work. Having symptoms doesn't seem to work. And even going to the hospital, that one too is starting to go out the window as more and more people. And you'll notice that the news media, they were so, emphasizing the number of people who did the thing versus who didn't do the thing. And now they're starting to change that a little bit. You're not hearing that. You're just hearing about the panic and the chaos, because they can't exploit those numbers anymore, because they would say, oh, well, only 10% or 20% of the people who are in the hospital, those are the people who did the thing. Boy, were they smart. They still wound up in the hospital. Yeah, it may have reduced their percentages here a little bit. But again, the place where they've done the thing the most is a country called Israel, which is Gene Simmons' birthplace, right? To tie it back into KISS. And they're also the country with the highest number of cases, all right? People who got the thing, and this is after they did the thing. So none of this makes sense. It just doesn't. I don't care what you're going to tell me about why we continue to do the same thing. And we're all expecting a better or different result. That's called insanity. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, hypocrites. Paul Stanley, the biggest hypocrite, telling everybody, oh, my freedom isn't worth jeopardizing your health. Well, you're doing stuff that would jeopardize my health based on your own critique of everything, which has been going on now for months. The badgering and the media, of course, the rock media especially, keeps putting this into articles. I'm getting kind of a little blowback because, I've shifted my focus a bit on this channel. But keep in mind, the rock media, wherever they can find a story that promotes doing the thing, they put it out there. And every time they find like a story like Paul Shortino, the guy who used the dewormer, right? He used a dewormer and controversial but the thing that you're supposed to take, that's not controversial, right? And they don't even investigate, gee, are all these people who are doing the thing, are they all healthy after they did the thing? Are they all above ground? Because, if you do a little digging, you're gonna, it's not funny, by the way. You're gonna be terrified if you actually learn the truth. You are going to be mortified, and you're gonna think, wow, these people are just lying. They're just lying. They're covering this stuff up, and they're all putting on this front, and none of them seem to have any remorse. None of them seem to think to themselves, wow, I've been promoting this for months and months and towing the line and being used by, I don't know, big pharma or whoever and they don't seem to care. And if they end up being wrong, they better at least shift their focus away and start talking about guitars and music and talk about anything else. Stop giving out medical advice. The best thing you could say is, you know what, this might work for you, but it's up to you to make those decisions. Not, gee, everybody has to do the thing. That's what I can't stand. It's, gee, Paul Stanley, oh, well, my freedom isn't that important. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, one more time, I'll try to do it here. Screw your freedom, okay? Just screw it. All right. Former governor of California. And then you've got the hypocrite who's being recalled because, he's out there lecturing his constituents, none of whom probably actually voted for him based on what we saw last time around. I don't believe any of this anymore, folks. I don't believe that these people who are authoritarians are the most popular people on the planet. You have to imagine accepting that premise. Yes, we're going to lock you down. And everybody's like, oh, I want to vote for that. That sounds great. Please lock me down. Take my job away. Don't allow me to go to concerts. That's what I really want. Thanks, Paul Stanley, for canceling concerts. Oh, if it wasn't for Paul Stanley doing the right thing, the whole world would suffer more. I mean, what a hypocrite this guy is. Kiss can't get off the stage fast enough. This end of the road thing can't end soon enough because it's a PR disaster. The concerts are all lip synced. I don't care how much you like the band. Maybe from a nostalgia point of view, you want to go see this group. The tickets are ridiculous as far as, this isn't a working class blue collar activity anymore. These are elites. These are people that have aged along with the band, who grew up with the band, who are somehow kind of reliving their childhood by going to see this band. It isn't really about music. It's about a show, a production, and you might as well go see like a Broadway musical or something. This isn't rock and roll, people. This is just, I don't know. It is, we know about Kiss. They've always been kind of the World Wrestling Federation, but this has gotten to a point now where it's like the fake world, which I know wrestling is fake, right? So this is the fake world wrestling. This is just, it takes another dimension in and of itself. So great job, Paul Stanley, showing the world how everything works, how, you don't have to obey the rules that you're telling everybody else to obey. And this needs to get out there because maybe these people will shut up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll just stop. Just focus on the music. Stop trying to be a health expert and leave us alone. That's all I'm asking for. And pretty much that's the way it used to be, live and let live. But now it's kind of like live and then tell everybody else what to do, which we need so much less of that. And just mind your own business. That's it. That's the video.